In a world where your entire worth is reduced to a number, life becomes a constant race against time. For him, it wasn't just a number. It was a ticking clock, a reminder of how easily fate could strip away everything. The mark on his body wasn't a badge of honor. It was a curse, a burden, tied to a secret he couldn't escape. But it wasn't just him. Everyone bore these marks, numbers tied to their actions, their worth, their very existence. It was the only way to survive in a society where numbers ruled. Yet, as much as the numbers defined people, they couldn't tell the full story. Then there was her. Unlike others, she seemed untouched by the harshness of their world. Innocent, almost naive, she carried a single number that didn't seem to grow or shrink, an anomaly in a society built on constant change. When their paths crossed, it wasn't destiny, it was desperation. She was searching for someone tied to a promise long forgotten by the rest of the world. And he was merely surviving, trying to outrun the ghosts of his past. The moment they met, their lives became entangled in a way neither could foresee. There was something about him she couldn't ignore. He was brash, unpredictable, and carried an aura of danger. But beneath his reckless facade, there was a haunting sadness, a weight he tried to hide. Who was he really? And why did he seem so familiar with the shadows that haunted their world? She couldn't help but wonder, was he connected to the person she was looking for? Or was he yet another obstacle in her path? For him, her presence was a complication he didn't need. Yet there was something about her determination that stirred something long buried within him. In this world there were rules, unwritten, ruthless rules enforced by the numbers. Every action carried a cost, every choice a consequence. And those who defied the system faced punishment far worse than death. She was learning this the hard way. Her quest for answers had drawn the attention of those who thrived on power, those who wouldn't hesitate to crush anyone who disrupted the order. For him, stepping in meant risking everything, but something inside him refused to stand by and watch her lose. As they journeyed together, the layers of their world began to peel away, revealing a truth far more twisted than either of them imagined. The numbers weren't just a measure of worth, they were a tool of control, a mechanism to keep everyone in line. And the deeper they dug, the more they realized how tightly their fates were intertwined. He wasn't just a drifter with a haunted past, he was connected to the system in ways even he didn't fully understand. Why did he know so much about the forgotten wars and the legends tied to the marks? Why did her presence feel like a key to something long lost? Their journey was marked by impossible decisions. Each step forward brought them closer to the answers they sought, but it also meant sacrificing the little they had left. He wrestled with his own demons, memories of a time when he was someone else, someone with purpose. She, on the other hand, was driven by a pure need to fulfill her promise, even if it meant risking everything. The question lingered between them: how much would they give up for the truth? But the world wasn't kind to those who sought to break its chains. Shadows moved in the background, figures who thrived on the system's cruelty and sought to keep it intact at all costs. These hunters weren't ordinary foes. They were relentless, powerful, and tied to the very core of the numbers that governed everything. Each encounter pushed them closer to the edge, testing their limits and forcing them to confront their own fears. Would they be able to stand against the tide? Or would they become another pair of forgotten faces in a world that erased the weak? Amid the chaos, hints of a deeper mystery began to emerge. He wasn't just fighting to survive, he was unlocking something within himself, something tied to his mark. His power wasn't like the others. It carried a weight, a history that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of their world. And as she watched him unleash this power, she realized just how much more there was to him than met the eye. But with great power came great danger. Every time he used it, the world seemed to close in on them, as though the very system was trying to erase them. Their journey wasn't just one of survival, it was a story of connection. In a world ruled by cold, unfeeling numbers, they found warmth in each other's presence. For him, she was a reminder of what it meant to care, to fight for someone beyond himself. For her, he was a beacon of strength in a world that sought to crush her spirit. Together, they began to see that the numbers weren't the true measure of worth. It was the choices they made and the bonds they formed that truly defined them. As they stood on the edge of revelation, the world around them seemed to shift. The system they thought they understood was far more complex, far more sinister than they ever imagined. But just as the answers began to come into focus, a new threat emerged, one that threatened to undo everything they had fought for. Would they find the strength to keep going, or would the weight of their journey finally break them? For now, all they could do was face the unknown, holding on to the fragile hope that their bond would be enough to carry them through.